So I thought I'd make a model of it and then pull the model apart to see if I could put it back together and hope that the brief was fulfilled. But as you can see by these drawings from Megson, they're just incredibly complex and really intriguing. He sort of pulled the house into the garden. It's on a very tight section of about 280 square metres. The aluminium weatherboard that we had done is on the ceiling of the space. We even managed to sort of build this light box into the periphery of the extension. We also did the house next door as well. But that was the sort of language that Megson had sort of created that we had to try and dissolve and then reintegrate with the additions. This is a refreshing home. It's for a couple of Ngāti Paua, Ngāti Whānau, and Ngāpuhi descent. And it sits at the bottom of the Manukau Harbour on a very long, low, open piece of land looking north towards Mangere Mountain actually. And it was a nice opportunity to actually take it home and actually spread it into the landscape that was, gently rolling. And that's the approach into the home. And that's a view looking back down onto this sort of ceremonial wall, which was meant to sort of pronounce arrival and receive people. We got halfway through the builders got halfway through this wall here, and then said to Anthony and myself that they didn't want to build anymore because they were getting sore backs. So we finished it, and that was a classic example of drawing something on the drawing board and thinking, yeah, that looks pretty cool. And then getting out there and trying building was another matter. There's the views into the courtyards. It's a view from the private bedroom wing looking back down towards the west. That's from the west looking back towards the east. I think we ran nearly 4 kilometres of aluminium weatherboard for this project. This is the gloriette, which is basically a sunken roof garden, which is quite neat. That sort of gives you a really commanding view of the Manukau Peninsula coming back down towards the Waiku River. And the neat thing about this area here is that Anthony and Louise last year were projecting movies onto the chimney to the left there. This is a yacht that we did last year for a Hong Kong client. It's a racing yacht, so it's a very pared back thing. We were involved in the graphics, the interiors, the sails, and even the apparel that the guys went to race with in conjunction with SLAM, which is like the Italian version of Adidas for the sailing world. But it was really neat to be involved with something like this because this yacht was made from 20mm thick carbon fibre, and this yacht is 47 feet long, and the hull weighs something like 250 kilograms. Just incredible technology. But there's an English naval architect who designed it, who wasn't told that this guy was going to be racing it in Hong Kong. He thought he was going to be racing in New Zealand because of his surname. So they had to take this bulb off and take a ton off it when they got up to that was on its maiden voyage. It's a really nice project to work on. This is probably the only commercial project that we've really done. It's on quite a prominent corner site in Newmarket. This is a 1:500 scale model that Glenn made, where we managed to convince Mitsubishi Motors in Japan to redo their building. BMW guys still here? It consists of 4 primary ramps that cars are sort of lay down on. This is a little island called Belle-Ile, and it's for this is a house owned by a very impressive woman called Sarah Bernhardt, and she lived here in 1890, and it's an incredibly wild landscape in Brittany, on the west coast of France, very close to where my sister has a holiday home. And Sarah Bernhard would go swimming in these areas here and fishing and have her friends over, like, you know, Claude Monet to do paintings and whatnot. It's just an incredibly wild landscape. This site is for an equally impressive woman and equally impressive her husband, and it is in a similarly wild landscape on the west coast of New Zealand. The beautiful thing about this is that I've never been given a brief as beautiful as this, where the clients wanted a home that appeared to have been pulled from the sand, which led us to explore what is the most interesting part of the beach, or, you know, what offers up the most clarity or richness for an idea associated with a home that's been pulled from the sand. So we went down to the water's edge where the water breaks on the sand, pulls away, and photographed it. And we had sort of came up with this very simple, plan here, sitting on a steep ridge facing down towards the south and looking out towards the sea. It consists of, it's very similar in size to Mangere. It's a day bed which is under a glazed roof sitting underneath a pūtakawa tree, a dining room, a kitchen, and the bedrooms which evolve around this totara courtyard. And these three pods which sit above it, looking towards the east, sit on very fine legs, a bit like a butcher's box in a rural context, and therefore writing in bunks and bathing. It's under construction at the moment, so it's just standing on the roof as you approach it on the north. That's the totara courtyard. And that's the view looking through out towards the sea underneath the canopy of a big pūtakawa. And that's it as it sits in the landscape. That's about all I've got to say.
Thank you very much, Michael. If you would like to ask Michael questions, I think with this number of people it might be best if you come and speak to him directly afterwards. We should do the draw now. Is there anybody that would like to pop their business card into the bowl to have the use of the BMW for the weekend?
Yes, me.
Okay. A bit further down here, Andrew, as well. This is a good time for me to also thank BMW for their partnership on the Home of the Year Award this year. It's been really great working with a company that values good design as much as we do, and a company that's been so fantastically easy to work with and has, I think, understood the competition and its values right from the beginning. So for the BMW, thank you very much for that too.
Yes.